Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Howard. I am the Chief Security Officer for Palo Alto Networks, and I am joined by two of my illustrious colleagues from Palo Alto Networks. You guys go ahead and introduce yourselves. Ryan, go. Oh, you're both Ryan. So, Mr. Olson, go.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ryan Olson. I'm the Director of Threat Intelligence for Unit 42, Palo Alto Networks Threat Intelligence Team.
Hi, I'm the less illustrious Ryan Gillis. I'm the Vice President for Cybersecurity Strategy and Global Policy, focusing in great part on building our relationships with government agencies in the U.S. and around the world, and sharing the impacts of potential policy changes on companies.
So, gentlemen, we are here today to get our parting shots at RSA. A couple of big segments we want to talk about. The first one is just give your general impressions. What is the big takeaway from you from last week's big security conference? Ryan Olson, let's start with you.
Yeah, so for me, as with most RSAs, the big benefit for me in these events is the networking, the ability to get together with pretty much everybody who I need to talk to once a year. And a lot of the conversations I was having this year were hitting on a couple themes. One was on orchestration, basically the automation of being able to deploy security controls, to do so without having to have humans in the loop, which is a theme that's very dear to us at Palo Alto Networks, and certainly dear to me as a threat intelligence focused professional, because a lot of those conversations are about how do we make use of the data that we have as quickly as possible, get it into our networks to sort of be self-healing, to defend themselves rather than having to have humans in the loop. So I was very happy to see those conversations happening at RSA. Also seeing vendors talking about that more and more, because it sort of is the bellwether for what we're going to see over the next couple of years in development.
So that new buzzword, orchestration, has been kind of popping up in the industry this whole past year, and I guess we expected to see it at the RSA conference, and you're saying we saw it in spades.
I certainly saw it in conversations with both customers, partners of ours, people who we're talking to about Cyber Threat Alliance. Everybody had that on their mind. Excellent.
Ryan Gillis, what do you think? What did you see this last week?
Yeah, I had a lot of overlap in what I observed as well. So as Ryan said, one of the great things about RSA is just you've got a captive audience, almost an offsite for the entire cybersecurity community. And so 45,000 people there lets you get a number of different perspectives. But I heard a lot of themes emerging along the lines that Ryan had said, from sort of the self-interest of the customer perspective in particular. So the end state of orchestration and automation, vendors working together, benefiting from things like the Cyber Threat Alliance, is a movement within the industry to stop putting the onus on the customer, the network defender, to have to do the back-end integration, which simply doesn't scale and doesn't keep up. And so customers are more and more demanding this and really responding well to the idea of something like the Cyber Threat Alliance, in which the vendor community is going to share more of what we know and defend against a lot of the baseline attacks, and increasingly against campaigns and playbooks. That's going to allow network defenders to focus on things that you need to put human eyes on rather than sort of cobbling together disparate products.
Well, it's definitely been a theme, like I said, and I think the last time I checked, there's over 1,500 security vendors out there, and they all have one or more security products that they want all of us network defenders to buy. I certainly saw that when I had the opportunity to walk the floor at RSA. I was telling Ryan Olson just before we started that I got a break and had a meeting canceled, so I got the chance to walk the floor. And these are the kind of vendors that I saw. Let me get the list here. Insider threat, mobile, ID management, cloud firewalls, even deception. That's like the third year in a row I'm starting to see more and more startups having a deception capability. I even found one vendor that advertised that they were selling secure fax machines. So I was pretty enlightened or happy that we have that future technology showing up on our desktop. That was my best joke of the day. You guys are supposed to laugh at that joke, right?
I bought 3 secure fax machines last week. It was an impulse. I couldn't help it, but we're set now.
Well, both of you mentioned the Cyber Threat Alliance, and Palo Alto Networks, along with our other founding members, were involved in that big launch this week. So we brought in, just talking about some of the reasons that it was such a unique launch. One of them was we brought 2 big vendors in. So Ryan Olson, what is the impact you think we're bringing in big companies like Check Point and Cisco to the Cyber Threat Alliance?
Yeah, I really think there's two main impacts. One is the really practical impact. Two companies like Checkpoint and Cisco, as well as the existing members of the CTA, have a lot of data. They collect a lot of data because we cast wide nets. We've got a lot of customers. They've got a lot of customers, and they're all oftentimes in different industries, which means the data that the CTA is sharing, which is indicators, as well as contexts formed up into these playbooks to understand how adversaries work, it becomes much more effective if we have a broader reach. If we can get more data into the system, then we have more coverage, more vendors have more information to identify threats, and the big players have a big impact on that because they can share a lot. The second factor is adding major vendors, just from sort of a PR perspective for the CTA, helps get other people engaged. Other people saying, hey, if these guys are sharing information, I can share information too, or I want to be part of the information sharing alliance they are in because I want to get access to their data. So adding that to the cohort that already existed inside the CTA means that we're going to be able to recruit a lot more vendors and really sort of reach that goal of unified threat intelligence sharing across the vendor network.
So I agree that bringing companies like Checkpoint and Cisco in to join other, heavyweights in the cybersecurity industry like us, Palo Alto Networks and Fortinet, Intel Security and Symantec, this thing has legs now. It has gravitas. It has the potential to be something very great going forward. So I'm pretty excited about that. But Ryan Gills, I'll come to you on this one. This sounds like just another sharing organization that's popped up. What makes the Cyber Threat Alliance unique or different, and why are we expecting great things from it?
Yeah, a couple of things. Because it's vendor sharing with vendors, both you get high quality information. You also, as I said, take off some of the onus on different industry verticals. So if you're sharing bank to bank, then you got to rely on each individual institution to plug this information in, have the capability to operationalize it. And so in a vendor to vendor context, banks across the world and industries across the world are relying upon the vendors within the Cyber Threat Alliance. So it takes out a lot of the basic work that needs to be done and takes it away from the individual customer and elevates that to a vendor responsibility. Two, the platform that's been put together by Ryan Olson and the technical team that actually quantifies sharing in a way that takes in both the amount that you've shared as well as the quality that's been shared. Is really a fascinating step forward. It democratizes and allows for smaller companies that may have niche information, not huge volume of information, but really valuable niche information to participate in that process. And it allows transparency to know what vendors are contributing at what level with what quality stuff. So I think it's a tremendous step forward.
So that second part, Ryan, was really a way to make sure that the playing field is even and that it's all transparent and everybody's contributing equally. I think those are two things that are making it unique from, let's say, an ISAC that is out there. You have to contribute to be a member of the Cyber Threat Alliance, and because we're security vendors, we already have ways to update our own products with new prevention and detection controls. So we can get all the intelligence out and shared by all the security vendors. We have a really strong possibility to quickly mitigate potential threats that are out there. So I think that's what makes it unique. And, this is that orchestration thing that Ryan also was talking about, that the customers out there have been asking the vendors to get together and get their act together. Well, this is the vendor community getting their act together, I believe. So that is our take on RSA, gentlemen. Thank you for doing that with us today, and say goodbye to everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Ryan.
Bye, everybody. Looking forward to secure faxing you later.
Yes.
Excellent.